here we can do this scenario using this SQL command. We have to say select just the ID, okay, from the table name. What was our table name? Customers, okay? And just using this command, we can fetch all the IDs from the customers table inside our My Data database, okay? So if I'm going to run just this command here, you can see the result. The result is just one column or one property called ID, and these 1, 2, 3 items are all the IDs of our customers table that we have added as a record inside our database. So we have fetched all the data that we need, all the IDs that we have defined. Why? Because here we're saying just select the ID from the customers table on our database. Okay, we can select multiple properties. For example, here we have ID and the name, but we don't want to know anything about the city. Okay, or vice versa. We don't need to have any information, or we don't want to fetch the IDs. We just want the name and the city of all our customers. How we can fetch all the information about the name and city from our customers table. Okay, here we can just edit this line of code and run select name and city from customers. And like you see here, we have Alice, Bob, and the other Alice that live in Chicago, and the cities, New York, Los Angeles, and Chicago. All the cities that we have defined as a data, as a value inside our tables, and that's pretty awesome, okay? So these are everything that we need to work with it. But what does select distinct do? Okay, for example, now if you want to see all the data in this table, before we're going to discuss about the select distinct, for the last thing that I want to say about the select statement in the SQL programming language is, now if you want to see all the data in this table, you can simply write the star. What I mean from the star, okay, the star means everything. This query will give you every column and every row in the customers table. So let's see what we'll do. For example, if I'm going to say select ID, select name, and select the city from the customers tables, so first of all, let's run this command and see the result. Like you see here, we're fetching all the columns, all the rows that we have inside our table. So the output or the result of this query has no difference with our customers table, like you see here. Okay, so but let's assume that we have a table that have lots of properties, lots of columns. We cannot write them all one by one. Okay, so here we're going to use the star. That means everything. Okay, and that query will give you, like I said before, every column and every row in our table. So instead of ID, name, and city, we just have to write star. And the select star from customers means select everything from the customers, right? So if I'm going to run this command here, you can see that the ID, name, and city properties and all the records have been fetched. Okay, awesome. But let's discuss about the select distinct. Now, if we want to talk about the select distinct, this is a game changer. Why? Because when your data has duplicate values, like our tables right now, we have duplicate values. Alice lives in New York, and another Alice, which lives in Chicago, okay? For example, when we face these scenarios, when our data has duplicate values and you only want to see the unique ones, okay? For example, looking at the customers table, you'll notice, like I said before, right here, that the name Alice appears twice, okay? What if you want to see each name only once? That's where distinct comes in, okay? So how we can use the distinct in the select statement? It is pretty simple. We just have run this query, okay? So let's run it. Select distinct, for example, name from customers, or let's write the from all with capital letters. Okay, so now let's see the result. Run this query and see the result. Right now, you know that inside our real table we have two Alice. Alice who lives in New York and Alice lives in Chicago. Okay? But right now, if I run this command using the select distinct, all the duplicate values are going to be removed and we just see a unique value for each record and all the duplicates will be removed. Okay? So right now you can see that we have just Alice and Bob. See the difference? The duplicate Alice is gone. Distinct make it super easy to clean up your data and focus on unique values. Okay? That was all we want to do. So let's have a quick tip. You can also combine distinct with multiple columns. For example, if you want a unique combination of name and city, we can run this command. Let's have a look. We can run select distinct, for example, name and city from customers. Okay. And now this will consider both columns together to determine uniqueness. And now if I'm going to run it, you can see the result of combination. Okay, but if you want to understand better these combinations, we can add a new value inside our table. For example, I'm going to say insert into customers values like 4, and let's just copy that, but with ID of 4, and run it and run this command. Let's run this command. Okay. Right now, if I'm going to refresh, you can see, so let's delete this. This is not the data that we want, so let's delete the row. And right now, if we're going to refresh the table, you can see that we have two Alices with who lives in Chicago. Okay, so if I'm going to run this like distinct name and city, the combination of the columns name and city from the customers, and select them distinct, right now, if I'm going to run this result or run this query, you can see the result like this. So, like I said before, this will consider both columns together to determine the uniqueness, not only one column. Okay, and that's, I think it's enough, and that's it for today. You've learned how to create a table, create a database, insert data or some rows inside our table, and you have learned how to select to fetch data and select distinct to get unique values. These are essential tools for anyone who's working with the databases, whether you're a beginner or pro. So if you found this helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you have a question, drop it in the comments, and I'll be happy to help. See you in the next video.